Do not judge humans too harshly, Autobots. They are only capable of acting upon what they understand, and apparently they do not yet understand us. Quote, Optimus Prime, introducing the dorkiest terrorist the world has ever known. I, Robot Master. Transformers Volume 1, Issue 16, Megatron Hungers. The displaced Decepticon has found his way to a coal mine in Wyoming, which he begins tearing apart in a desperate search for fuel. Megatron attempts to ingest the mine's coal but finds it useless to him and is about to head off to look elsewhere before his whole body suddenly grinds to a halt as he finally runs out of energy. Government agent Walter Barnett is summoned to a meeting of the Intelligence and Information Institute at the organization base in the Cascades. Barnett has already been tasked with finding a cover story to explain the presence of giant robots to the public that will prevent panic, but Megatron's appearance in Wyoming forces Barnett's boss, Forrest Forsythe, push up his deadline. Also in attendance is G.B. Blackrock, who tries to convince Triple I that the Autobots can be Earth's allies, but Forsythe doesn't want to hear it. He excuses Blackrock, then sends the agency staff sent home to come up with a viable story within 2 days on pain of unemployment. Barnett returns home where he finds unexpected inspiration in his son's Stevie's comic book, Robot Master. Hopping a plane to New York City, Barnett makes his way to the offices of Marvel Comics in search of Robot Master writer Donnie Finkelberg, intending to pay him to write a cover story about a costume human supervillain they can blame the robot attacks on. Having just lost his job with the company, Finkelberg is only too happy to accept Barnett's offer of lunch, and even more readily accepts an offer to actually play the role himself. The next day, broadcast television across the continent is interrupted, and America meets Robot Master, who claims that all Transformers are under his control. Reactions are varied. The Autobots are baffled and turn to Blackrock for answers, learning about the government's intentions from him. Triple I's plan takes a hit when a photograph of the inert Megatron leaks to the news media, so they plan to make a second broadcast from Wyoming coal mine itself, shoring up their story by showing Robot Master and Megatron together. Unfortunately for them, the news story about Megatron has also been witnessed by the Autobot. Optimus Prime says the humans in that area have no idea how dangerous Megatron is. We must bring him here for safekeeping. Bumblebee, track skids, transform, and roll out. Soundwave, who has been hiding out in the electronics store in tape deck mode. The Autobots are first to arrive on the scene as Triple I are getting ready to broadcast, but are met with resistance from the human military, which does not recognize the Autobots as anything other than a threat, despite Blackrock's attempt to make them understand otherwise. While the military are busy with them, however, Soundwave and his cassette fly in with a fresh supply of fuel for Megatron, who becomes mobile again. The Decepticons go on a rampage against the human military. The damaged Autobots are in no condition to help the humans and are forced to retreat. In the aftermath of the destruction, Laserbeak spots Finkelberg and snatches him up, depositing him in front of Megatron, the Decepticon leader, to dispose of for his boast. Finkelberg is able to convince the Decepticons that he can be of help to them. By continuing his Robot Master charade, he can convince humans that the Autobots are as much a threat to them as Decepticons, thereby thwarting future Autobots' efforts as they were today. Soundwave agrees that the course of action is logical, and though it leaves Megatron with an extremely bad taste in the mouth, he consents to another broadcast displaying his might in the service of Robot Master for all to see. Finkelberg is spared, but Megatron warns the presumptuous human that it's only for now. Notes: Triple I has been looking for a way to deal with the issue of Transformers since last issue. The briefing session, the organization includes a video recorded several events from the past, including Megatron and Shockwave destroying a high school football stadium while fighting from issue 6, Soundwave invading Blackrock Aerospace Assembly Plant number 1 from issue 7, Hoist repairing damage at the Brick Springstern concert from last issue. Soundwave and cassettes were last seen in issue 12, having been undercover since they were defeated by Optimus Prime and left leaderless. Rumble and Frenzy do not appear to be with them. It might seem logical to think that as cassettes they would be, but the Marvel comic did not particularly emphasize the connection between them and Soundwave the way the cartoon did. They and the Constructicons are the only ones unaccounted for by the U.S. stories during the period of Decepticon instability. Wheeljock and Prowl have given the Autobots the orders to roll out in issue 9 and 12 12, respectively. But this issue marks the first time that Optimus Prime delivers the iconic catchphrase made famous by the animated series in its full form: transform and roll out. Next, Transformers Volume 1, Issue 6, Plight of the Bumblebee.